Well, we brought in our expert. We have Dale Versteegen here. He's with Walking Mountains, the natural science school in the area. He's going to let us know about the fall colors. Why do leaves change color? And are they a little late this year, or are we just imagining things?
A lot of people are asking that, but they're actually not late. And it's probably the best place to start talking is when they change color and why they change color. Now, most of us will get up with an alarm clock and we'll set it at a certain time during the week so we can get up. In nature, they don't really have an alarm clock they program, but they have the sun. And we've spoken many times before on how our seasons change by the angle and the number of hours in the day or the number of hours at night. So it's the photo period, which is going to be very consistent. So we're getting to the time of year where the photo period or day length is shortening, so the trees are getting triggered that the season is going to change. And as that season changes, that's when they're going to start losing leaves or changing
And it's a chemical process, right?
Yes. And so the first thing is we all love our aspen tree, and here in this area, our aspen is the one that's really going to change color. There are a few other species, but we don't have the oak and different things that we have out east where you'll get the different reds. We really stick to that yellow. Typically, we'll see our aspen with these green leaves. Now, I'd like to ask you a few questions. And why are leaves green?
Okay, it's chlorophyll, right? Okay, I do remember that from school.
So chlorophyll is the green pigment that we get in our leaves, and it's very important because it's the pigment that actually gives us photosynthesis. So this is where trees actually produce energy. So we have the equations down on the front of the table, which people can come look at really closely if they visit our new center today.
Okay.
The trees will take in sunlight and carbon dioxide in the presence of chlorophyll, and then they'll produce sugars and oxygen. And there's a little bit of water left over. So they're going through producing energy to help them grow. But as it gets to winter, with this daylight changing and the risk of having very limited resources as far as water, the leaves change and they get dropped off because winter's very hard on plants and animals as far as finding water. So what will happen is most of the trees in the area are starting to get to this coloration where you're getting the chlorophyll is actually stopping production and leaving the tree. So it's gone. As it leaves, you actually get a chemical process start happening at the base of the leaf. This chemical release actually causes some different cells to change how they grow and the shape that they're on. So it actually causes a ring to start to develop and grow. As that ring develops and grows, it cuts off more supply to the leaves, so we get into this yellow. And then finally, as it fully cuts off, the leaf is actually removed, falls to the ground, and we'll end up with our stem.
Okay.
And the reason for this is it is getting itself ready for winter.
Okay.
Now when the snow falls, it's going to fall off the branches relatively easy, but the other thing is not going to lose a lot of moisture. And if people want to test this theory when they go home, if you get a plastic bag and put it around a leaf set on an aspen tree or any green tree when there's sunlight out and you tie it off at the bottom, you leave it get warm, you'll actually collect water in there. It's a great survival technique to use because you can collect clean water this way, but it's because water leaves leaves very quickly. On the bottom you've got a lot of little holes where it can actually transpire. It's leaving. It's very small so you won't see it, but during winter with the dry humidity, it's very dry our air here, the leaves would lose a lot of moisture, so they dry out. It wouldn't be good for the tree, so they lose it. But then a lot of people ask, well, why do evergreens or our coniferous trees in the area keep them? And that's because their leaves are a different structure. This is what we call a broadleaf.
Oh yeah.
It's very delicate. You can feel it. It feels kind of dry. If you grab a needle, it's very waxy. Obviously wax is going to help retain water. So our evergreen trees are going to retain water because of the waxy coating. The aspen trees lose their leaves so they can retain that water and not run the risk of running out.
Okay. Okay, good. All right. So we're not late. We're pretty much right on time. So we're going to start seeing a lot more of this golden. We're kind of at this stage right now. So the chlorophyll is starting to not be produced as much anymore. The carotenoids are always present. They just have been masked.
They've been masked. And the great thing is, as you start looking at the mountains now, you'll see some areas that are yellow and others that are green. And this highlights the different stands. A really interesting thing about aspen trees is it's currently debated that they are the largest organism in the world because they actually send out runners and the trees pop up. So as you look at the hill, you can start identifying these family groups because the genetics are slightly different in each one, so they'll change color at slightly different times.
Okay, interesting stuff. You can learn more. Adults, kids, they have programs for everyone. WalkingMountains.org or 827-9725. Don't forget about their new campus that you can visit just north of Avon. We'll be back.